Once upon a time, there lived a very happy couple, Mr. and Mrs. Azuka. They both love each other dearly, that people pray for such love for their own families. They do everything together and show love to others. One day, Mrs. Azuka became pregnant, and after 9 months, she gave birth to a bouncing baby girl, whom they named Loretta. Their joy knew no bounds. But that joy was short-lived, as Mr. Azuka fell seriously ill barely after his wife, Mrs. Azuka, gave birth, and some weeks later, he passed on. Mrs. Azuka was inconsolable, as the love of her life has left her alone to take care of the joy of their lives. The pain of losing him was unbearable, but what happened next broke her even more. Mr. Azuka's family arrived 2 days later to take over all that their brother left behind. They told Mrs. Azuka that she isn't entitled to anything because she didn't give them a son. Mrs. Azuka begged and begged, but all the begging fell on deaf ears as they drove her and her daughter Loretta out of the house without picking anything. Mrs. Azuka started doing menial jobs like fetching water for people, washing clothes, fetching firewood, so that she would be able to feed her daughter and send her to school. Some years later, God smiled on her as Loretta grew to become a pretty, brilliant, hardworking and intelligent lady. Since she was educated, she got a good job in the city. She married the love of her life, Ikem, and she lived so happy. Every fortnight, she goes back to the village to see her mother with foodstuffs, clothes, and money. This became a monthly routine until she had her own children, 2 boys and 2 girls. She was determined that her children would not suffer the way she did. She gave them everything they ever wanted, and they went to the best school you could ever think of. But on the other hand, she thought she was being a good mother by not forcing them to do chores if they don't want to, and also allowing all their exigencies. Little did she know that she was leading them to destruction. Loretta always take her children to the village to greet her mother, Mrs. Azuka. Her children only greet her mother out of respect, but deep in their hearts, they never liked her. They always say she looks old, wrinkled, and dirty, but their mother only smile and say they are just being children, that they will change with time. Some years later, Mrs. Azuka became well-stricken in age. Her body weakened and she couldn't help herself like she used to. So she sent for her daughter Loretta. But due to her work, she couldn't go. So she sent her children to go and take care of their grandmother since they were on holiday. When she told them about it, they blatantly refused. Why should we waste our holiday taking care of that smelling old woman? Her first daughter said. I don't want to go to that mosquito-infested village, Mom, her first son also said. Then their father came in. If you don't go, then forget about your school. I will make sure I send you to a government school. He eased and walked away. Her children crowded around her. Mommy, Daddy doesn't mean that, right? He won't send us to those poor men's school. He's just joking, right? They asked her. Your father meant what he just said. If you agree to go to the village, then you have nothing to worry about. They sighed heavily and knew they had no choice, so they agreed to go. After spending some days in the village, they became bored and agreed on going to clubs to ease their boredom. They barely took care of their grandmother, Mrs. Azuka, not giving her food at the right time, not bathing her, not spending time with her, neither changing her clothes. One rainy night, after they had gone to the club as usual, leaving Mrs. Azuka all alone in the house, Mrs. Azuka was hungry and so pressed, so she crawled out of the house because she was too old and could barely walk, thinking she will see who to call for help. But due to the heavy rain, she didn't see anyone as everybody avoided the rain. Taking a deep sigh, knowing her time is almost up, in tears, she looked up to the sky and said, "If only I maltreated your mother, will you not experience all this you made me go through?" And with that, she gave up the ghost. The next morning, as the four children came back from the club, they were surprised to see their grandmother, Mrs. Azuka, lying on the floor, all soaked. "Why is this old woman sleeping on the floor? Is there no bed in the house anymore? Mama, why are you sleeping here? Why not sleep on your mattress in the house?" Loretta's first daughter, Beatrice, asked. They shook her, but got no response. Then it dawned on them that she was dead. They were scared and confused as they don't know what to tell their mother. But at last, they called her and explained to her all that happened, leaving the part that they went to the club. She cried and wept. After Madame Azuka's funeral, Loretta returned to the city with her children, and life continued. Some years later, her first daughter Beatrice got married to a wealthy man. The wedding was so grand as there was enough to eat and drink. At first, the marriage was filled with happiness, but with time, trouble began. She hasn't conceived, and her in-laws are not giving her peace. "I don't know if it's a man my son married, that I haven't heard the cries of babies in this house for the past 2 years you got married," her mother-in-law said. "But Mama, doctor said nothing is wrong with my husband and I. I'm sure we will give birth at God's own time," she answered her. But deep down in her, she was getting tired of the situation. Her brother Gozie, who also got married a year after her, already has a daughter, but his wife is promiscuous, and this gives him heartaches. His other siblings became notorious as they visit clubs every day and doesn't listen to anything their parents tell them. It was as if something was pushing them to destruction. They have been arrested so many times at the club, but their mother Loretta always bailed them out. One day, alone in her room, their mother, Loretta, deep in thought, wondered what had befallen her once lovely family. So she started visiting churches to know what the problem was. Some pastors collected money from her. Some told her to fast and pray. Some gave her water and oil, but all to no avail. Then one day, she came across a flyer about a crusade coming up, so she planned to attend. At the crusade, the prophet told her that she was the cause of the calamity that had befallen her. "A curse had been placed on your children by their grandmother shortly before she died. Take them, go to her grave, and cry for mercy," he told her. That same night, Loretta called all her children to relay the message. The next morning, they set out for Mrs. Azuka's grave. They cried and begged, all to no avail. They were determined not to leave until they see a sign that she had forgiven them. Beatrice knelt down beside the grave. "Grandma, I know I had wronged you greatly in the past. I know that if I had treated you well, my siblings would have followed suit. Please, ma, we are all really suffering. We have realized our mistakes and we are greatly sorry. Please, ma, forgive us," she cried. They were at the graveyard for 4 days, neither eating nor drinking. And on the 5th day, the atmosphere changed. There was extreme cold and the breeze was much. This lasted for just 5 minutes. Then everything became normal again. That was all the sign they needed and a confirmation that their grandma has forgiven them. And from that moment, everything changed. Few weeks later, Beatrice became pregnant. Her husband and mother-in-law were so happy. Gauzier's wife turned a new leaf after realizing all her mistakes. He forgave her because he knew she was doing all that due to his grandmother's curse. Their other 2 siblings turned away from their reckless life and started working hard. Loretta was happy her family has been restored and thanked God for showing her mercy. Lessons learned from this story. Blind love and lack of discipline can lead a child to destruction. Loretta suffered the consequences of her actions. Parents, don't overindulge your children due to unfounded love, claiming you don't want them to go through what you went through. Train up a child in the way he should grow, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Thank you. Hello viewers, thank you for taking your time to watch this video. I'm sure you've gained 1 or 2 things from it. Please leave your comments in the comment section and please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. Until we meet again in my next video, stay tuned and stay blessed. Thank you.